And we're back at the Famous Monsters Podcast, here to talk about all things horror, sci-fi, and fantasy. I am George Morrow, your jack of all trades, and with me again is Chase.
Hello.
Hey, Chase.
Hi.
And returning is Eleni the Falcon.
How's it going?
It is great. As everyone knows, this week we have Annabelle 2 coming out, which, it is tonight, and we'd be watching it, but we're here recording, talking about it, because we'd much rather do that.
Yeah.
Way
Talking about things is way better than watching things.
Of course.
Definitely. I've got a lot to say.
And with Annabelle, it's about a doll that is possessed, keeping that possession thing going, but it messes up a whole family. And it's like, what's the deal with these movies? Like, it's not the first of its kind. Like, we've had doll movies for quite some time, since way back when. And there's something really creepy about having a doll be like your focal point of the movie. So it's something also very relatable. We've all had dolls at some point, especially me and Chase. We love our dolls.
My collection was vast.
Yeah. Mine really was. No joke. But yeah, like what are some of the top movies that stick out for you guys that really left an impact?
For me, Child's Play, Dolls, and Dolly Dearest. And those were three that really just, whenever I think of doll movies, those ones really just pop out.
Are you, Eleni?
For me, I haven't seen a ton of them, but I know I watched Dead Silence a couple times when it came out, and then of course Annabelle now has her own movie thing, but she was sort of referenced in The Conjuring 1 and 2 a couple times. She was sort of not really a focal point, but she was definitely present in those, and I actually really liked those. I love all of James Wan's stuff.
Yeah, from what I understand, 'cause I actually haven't watched much of it myself, but it seems like Annabelle kind of had that, the clown from the Poltergeist thing, where it wasn't the main thing, but it definitely left an impact on you.
Oh, definitely.
Another one where it's it's that doll in the background. It's it's not about that. It's about the Poltergeist, but that clown was freaky as hell.
Oh my God,
if you weren't afraid of clowns before, you are now.
Definitely. I actually think that was probably the first time, because I saw Poltergeist before I ever saw It. So I didn't have It to ruin clowns for me. And then I watched the Poltergeist and I was like, okay, I can see where people are coming from when they're afraid of clowns now. I get it now.
Yeah.
That's a double
unsettling.
The clown and the doll, both.
Right. And under the everything, because remember it was under the bed.
That's just rough.
Yeah. It's that movie was on a mission to ruin your bedroom. And everything that you found safe
your
about
entire home.
It's as a kid, there's certain spots that you go to when you're running from being so scared. It's like, if I go to my room, I'm safe. If I go to my bed, I'm safe. From under my covers, I am safe.
Totally.
And that movie's like, no, screw that. I'm going to screw all that for you.
Basically. Because imagine if that was a source of comfort. I know my source of comfort, because I used to be really scared of a bunch of things when I was little. And my safe point was if I would climb into bed and grab onto, I had a giant Pikachu stuffed animal.
Nice.
I've always been a fan of Pikachu. And if I touched it, then I was safe and nothing could touch me. So if it was kind of a thing like that, that's extra messed up.
Thunderbolt.
Yeah.
Right? How bad would that be? You just holding on to Pikachu, it's like, Pika!
Oh my God.
You think you're holding on a Pikachu and it starts to move a little bit.
Oh God.
And you look over, you're not holding Pikachu.
That's
I'm not quite sure what this monster thing is going to be yet, but it's already terrifying.
Yeah. I can see where it's going. It's very scary. Yeah. But I feel like that's why dolls are such a big thing in horror movies, because it's supposed to be something that you kind of go to when you're a kid as protection. Yeah,
for sure. I always thought it was the creepiest things I think in these doll movies is whenever it's those dolls with the eyes that open and shut when you lie them down and everything, which they get used quite a bit, like in Annabelle.
Right.
And growing up, my mom loved those things. She still collects them to this day, and I've actually supported her cause of buying her some. But those dolls, it's like they peer into your soul. I don't like that kind of stuff.
Well, the thing about those dolls is if you're collecting them and they're kind of sitting there and not really doing anything, where they're not getting used, where they're constantly opening their eyes and stuff, then they're fine. But I didn't really have a ton of dolls when I was a kid, but both my sisters did, like the youngest one especially, and she had a ton of those dolls. And their eyes always screw up after a while. Like one eyelid will just stop working, so then they get this like kind of like low-key demented expression on their face forever. Like the one eye is just sort of like flickering open and closed. So those are kind of creepy on their own. So I can see why they're kind of a big thing.
It's that dumb eye. No. Chase is envisioning it.
Oh.
Now we deviate a bit, but like, who's actually watched the Annabelle movie so far?
I watched the first one. I watched it like once or twice. And so first, there's a difference between the actual story of, I think it's the Warrens, right? Are those the people? Yeah, them, and the actual story of like, not necessarily the actual story, but like the actual doll that they have versus the movie. The movie is awesome. It's a good scary movie. The doll is super creepy.
Yes.
In real life, it is not. It is not.
It's literally a Raggedy Ann doll in real life, isn't it?
It's a Raggedy Ann doll. It's like, no matter what's possessing this Raggedy Ann doll, it's a Raggedy Ann doll. It's not going to come up and just like gently beat you to death with its soft little fingerless hands. You know?
Strangle you with its yarn hair.
Yeah. Its yarn hair isn't long enough to strangle you. So that aspect of it makes it kind of ridiculous, but just for watching a horror movie's sake, I watch it and I really like it.
Yeah.
See, for me, it's kind of funny because I'm actually like the opposite. Like I look at the Annabelle that's in all of like the Conjuring and Annabelle movies, and she kind of has like a look where like you would look at her and be like, clearly this doll is messed up. There's clearly something evil about this doll because she looks horrifying. And for me, I kind of like the idea of the doll looking
innocent,
totally like a regular doll. Like when I first saw the picture of the actual Annabelle, like Raggedy Ann doll, just like kind of like contained in this case, with its like hands on his lap, kind of like slouching over because it's just a rag doll. That to me was like a little bit creepier than the doll in the movie, because it's like it's sort of it seems like you're kind of asking for it in the movie if you have that doll looking like that. Whereas Raggedy Ann can get like who would ever suspect Raggedy Ann?
I think that's the difference between like creepy and scary.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
That is a little more creepy. But it's not, you don't feel threatened by it. Like, ooh, that's creepy. I'm going to kind of avoid that. But you're like, it's going to kill me.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's going to hurt me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I get that. I think going in those lines of what you're saying is like, it makes me think of the movie Demonic Toys, which came out like probably early 90s from the Full Moon Group, who brought us like Puppet Masters and stuff like that. They must have been like really focused on toys when they were making their films, because in the 90s they had Puppet Masters, what we called Doll Man, and Demonic Toys. It's like it was obvious that they wanted to have a toy franchise like Star Wars or something, but it just never panned out. But in Demonic Toys, like some of the toys were super creepy. Like there was like a baby doll thing who looked like a Bugsy character who was just put into a baby, which was really weird. But there was this bear which looked like a regular teddy bear. It was super adorable and cute. It's like, well, the teddy bear's not going to do anything. What? Like you were saying, Chase, like it's what's going to do is pat you to death with its fluff. But then, like when the full demonic aspect kicked in, the thing changed into like a werebear, and it was a full on beast demon. And it's like, all right, that's scary as hell. It's like it tricks you by bringing you close with all this cuteness, and then it transforms into this like 10-foot beast with freaking claws and everything. It's like it made me. I remember like I was probably like 7 years old when I watched this film, and I remember going into my bedroom, and I inherited my mom's. I say as if she passed away. My mom gave these things to me, and she's still alive, but she is alive now. Mom has not passed away, but I had this whole room full of stuffed animals that she gave me, and then stuff I've acquired, and there was lots of bears. So after watching that, I'm like reevaluating my whole room.
My whole life.
A lot of bears in here. Can I trust all of you? It's like, I don't know anymore.
Sit them down at a little text table. We need to have a talk.
Yeah. That's what I was picturing too, actually.
What's funny is like, check this out. Like, so I have all those bears. In the 90s, there was also this thing called My Pet Monster. I don't know who remember this thing.
It sounds familiar.
It was this blue monster, had like orange handcuffs and everything. There was a cartoon for it and everything. It probably had like 2 seasons, if that. and I grabbed onto my pet monster. And it's like, you're going to help me weed out the bad bear.
Like a sniffer dog.
It's like, I trusted the thing monster that was actually called a monster.
I'm a good detective. You're a bad detective.
Well, to be fair, it's being upfront with you about the fact that it is a monster.
Yeah, there was no secrets. And their first bear that was up for like debate was my Teddy Ruxpin.
Oh my god!
Like,
yeah.
And sometimes
that's
like
why.
the batteries
When the batteries die, Teddy Ruxpin is horrifying.
Yeah. It was the worst. Let's go out on our adventure. Like, no, Teddy.
Teddy, you're staying home.
But yeah, that's probably like the most like hardcore memory I think of, like when I think of like a movie that it really affected it. Of like the fear of having my stuffed animals or anything that was doll like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, the movie of Annabelle, like, I don't know how far it deviates from the actual story. I don't remember the actual story. But, like, it's funny because, like, in a way, like, it reminds me of some other doll movies. It reminds me of the Child's Play franchise a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, there's this, I think they're like a cult, and this woman, like, the cult is going around, like, killing people in this, like, this little neighborhood. And the main people, like the wife is pregnant, and then the husband, like they go to check out the neighbor's house, and he goes inside and he comes out covered in blood. And she's like, "Oh my gosh!" She's like, "It's not mine. Like somebody killed them. Go call the police." She gets back in the house, and one of the creepy cult ladies are inside the house, and she's carrying this Annabelle doll. That, like in this story, it's like one of these special kind of dolls that she's been like kind of like the American Girl dolls or whatever.
Oh,
it's like a specific
like a brand.
line. Yeah. So it's not Raggedy Ann doll, of course, but and so she's like carrying that around, and then a fight happens, and there's blood and dying, and the cult woman dies, and like blood drips onto the doll and like goes into its eye socket, kind of thing.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that scene,
and that's how it like becomes possessed or whatever. And that reminds me of Child's Play 3. So that came out obviously a long time ago. And
talk about the factory scene, right?
Yeah, the factory scene where the hook things, which I'm watching that again, I'm like, where are these hooks? Like that's a random pile of melted Chucky doll, like in a random part of the floor. I highly doubt you have like all these random tracks on the ceiling where claw machines just go back and forth like, yep, and right there. It doesn't work that way in factories. Anyway, this claw comes down, hooks this massive melted Chucky, and blood comes out of it, and it's getting craned across the factory.
Yeah.
Because that's the best way to dispose of it. And blood drips into this vat of rubber.
Plastic,
Yeah, like melted plasticky rubber stuff. Which, again, that must have been sitting there for a very long time since there's cobwebs everywhere in the factory. And that starts spinning up, and then Chucky's back. And so it's kind of like the possession went through the blood. I'm like, oh, Annabelle.
Can I say, side note, I was always waiting for like after Child's Play Part 3 for it to be like a Chucky army to come out. That's what I thought was going to happen. You know?
It gets distributed.
Yeah.
Although
still waiting on that.
All of the plastic. Like,
yeah, there should have been an army of Chuckies. If you guys are listening, make Army of Chucky. That's the movie we got to make next, all right?
Yeah.
Granted, I know Curse of Chucky's coming up next, and there's going to be a whole bunch of other Chucky's coming, but that's what I want. I want Army of Chucky. All right? ARMY. Army. I needs it.
I got to have it. Did you like the Child's Play movies?
I say I love the Child's Play movies. They were amazing. I grew up at a time where I was around when the My Buddy doll was coming out, and my parents were going to buy me a My Buddy doll. And I was like, F that noise, because it came out the exact same time as Child's Play. It's like, it was so...
That's a good guy doll in disguise.
Yeah, it's like, I really feel bad for the My Buddy line, because they had probably a product that would have been amazing, and it got crushed because of Child's Play. Every little boy and girl was like, I don't want that because it's going to kill me. So no. And my thing was like, no, I don't want it. I was like, I know what's coming. It's like, I don't need that. I do not need that. But here's the weird thing.
Teddy bears.
Super weird thing is that what I did ask for was the Freddy doll.
Oh, okay.
which had like a pull string and everything. And he talked and he's like, well, welcome to my nightmares or whatever. That I did get. And I owned it I got it for Christmas. I was so happy. I owned it for probably like 2 nights. And on like the third night of having it, and I always slept with the light on because I was afraid of the dark when I was a kid. So I had it right on my lamp, which was a beautifully smart place to have something that is based on horror.
So you can keep an eye on it all night.
It casted a shadow.
Oh my God.
And one night I wake up and I look at it. I'm wide awake because I had to like use the bathroom. I go back to my bed and I see it and it moved a little bit. I was like, I'm not going to let that bother me. It probably just moved because I went to my bed and maybe I shook it a bit. Mm-hmm. That's probably what happened. Now, remember I said it's a drawstring? So the only way it's going to make a sound is if someone pulls that drawstring like 12 inches back. Right. All of a sudden I hear it. He's like, welcome to my nightmare. I was like, oh no.
That totally seems like something Freddy would do in one of his movies, right?
Like, that's the thing.
Like, it did happen. That totally. Oh, did it?
In part 3, in the Dream Warriors, there's a scene where he is a puppet.
Oh, that's right.
And he turns like this puppeteer boy into like a puppet. So again, the dolls. Yeah. The dolls are in everything.
Yeah, really.
But yeah, it was probably like I've cried for my dad like 3 times in my life. Mm-hmm. And this was one of the first times I ever cried for my dad. And I was just like, Dad. And then eventually I was able to like belt it like, Dad. And he's like, what's going on? Whoa. It's like, get Freddy out of here. He is trying to kill me. And he's like, I freaking knew you were didn't want this thing. I knew it was going to scare you. It's like, I knew we shouldn't have shown you those movies. A week later, I'm watching Nightmare on Elm Street again. Like nothing ever happened. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was an odd thing. No Chucky dolls. Yes to Freddy. And then no dolls.
My best friend had a My Buddy doll.
Oh, so you got to like play with it?
Yeah. I say accidentally. I accidentally broke it.
Okay, I thought I accidentally played with it.
It was an accident. I didn't mean to. Like, I don't know. I was always messing around with it, and like I would kind of like smack it around a little bit. It's kind of like, if you are real, this is what you got to deal with if you come at me, dog. And like
antagonized it. Damn.
Like, this.
Let this be a warning. Don't try anything.
I accidentally cracked it down the middle of its face. And my friend was so pissed. I was like, you didn't want this anyway, dude. This is creepy.
This thing was going to kill you and I saved you. How dare you be mad at me for it?
I feel like there has to be like a side story where like he calls you later on. It's like, he's standing over my bed right now. He's angry. He says we're not buddies anymore.
Oh, no.
He's not my buddy. That's like in the movies, like they throw him in the trash can. They do that in Child's Play and in Annabelle. Again, another back to it. Annabelle, you're copying off Child's Play, and you know what? I don't hate it.
It's cool.
Well, I feel like that's like everyone always thinks that they throw the thing that's bothering them away. Like it happened in the Babadook too. Yeah. She just throws the book away and then it comes back. And I'm sure that there's plenty of other movies.
It's the Ouija board method.
Yeah, that's true.
Never get rid of it.
Board, then it comes back. I think it probably happened in Dead Silence too.
Yeah.
Just gotta lock it up.
Or burn it.
Yeah,
I'm with you. I'm a burn it person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Burn it.
I just feel like that might be bad. You don't know what you're letting out when you burn it.
Because it might be like in the Zuni Warrior from a
Trilogy of Terror. Yeah. She's like, this thing's coming. I'm just throwing the oven. Oh, it's dead now. Open up the oven. And now I'm the devil. Like, I'm a Zuni Warrior spirit.
Well, see, that thing taught us a lesson. When you burn the such said thing that is terrorizing you, don't huff it.
Yeah, really.
You know, I understand we're in a day and age where people are vaping everything, but don't vape the demon.
Don't vape the demon.
Don't vape the demon.
That's funny.
It'll end badly.
Life lessons. This is what we shouldn't do.
Yeah, plus, locking it up worked pretty well for the Warrens for a while, right? I mean, she stayed locked up during the Conjuring movies for the most part until other spirits started kind of getting involved. But they had her in glass for a very long time.
Another reason not to burn it, going back to Child's Play. Child's Play 1 at the end, he gets lit on fire and it ends. You know, he's like, it's all melted and dying. And number 2, it starts off, the people that own the company, they get the doll, and they're like, oh, you know, stockholders are getting all PO'd about this. We gotta fix this. They scrape all the skin off the doll. Turns out the doll's head is made of metal, which is weird.
Okay.
Yeah. Good guy dolls should not be made of rubber or of metal. They should be
no dolls, theoretically.
Yeah, that's just not a good idea.
Well, you're talking about it's the 80s and 90s, man. Like toys were still made very good back then.
That's true.
Tonka trucks were still made out of die-cast metal. This wasn't, the plastic era
True.
yet. Yeah, I'm pretty sure now he's all plastic.
Yeah. So they're scraping all the dead, melted plastic stuff off the metal. It's just like this metal skull with like little teeth, like little human-looking teeth. I'm like, that's creepy. They're scraping the teeth off and like buffing the skull and everything, getting it all cleaned up, and then they're rebuilding it. They reapply everything and make it new. Mm-hmm. They're like, we checked it and didn't find any defects, so it's going to be great for the meeting. They're going to be happy about that. And it's like, but why are you rebuilding this? Like, are you going to just sell that thing again? It's like, it was involved in like some crazy stuff. I think you'll be okay not refurbishing this and reselling it. I think you're wasting money doing that. Yeah, that's a bad idea. But they did that.
It makes you wonder. Maybe it's Child's Play's fault why we have a refurbishing line at everything that we have. You know,
I was just kind of thinking about that.
Because you think pre-Chucky, you didn't really see that often with anything like toys, technology, anything like that. But then Child's Play happens, and GameStop's refurbishing Xboxes.
Yeah, that's true. Every computer.
Yeah. Damn you, Child's Play.
We have no idea what spirits we could be keeping around.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It has me worried the next time I put my freaking PlayStation on.
Yeah, right.
Might be a demon laying inside.
Yep.
See, I still argue the burning thing. They didn't burn it all the way. Because we're talking about ashes here. That's what we're talking about. We're saying ashes, the metal gets burnt down so you can just maybe fashion it into like a bullet or something. I don't know.
Then you got possessed.
Yeah, then you have a possessed bullet. That's a horrible,
but
then you
have the power.
Maybe.
I don't know. I think the last thing I would do with a possessed thing is, unless you got someone to like seal it really well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not like physically sealing it, but like seal a demon inside your bullet or sword.
Yeah, like what if it's like the Phantasm Bowls?
Right?
Yeah.
They'll get you.
I'm thinking like I have the power of like the tall man. I get to control the balls.
No, you don't have any powers like that.
no, Joey, sorry, no powers for you. No.
Turns out that's not how it works.
It's not in the contract, sorry. Demon contract did not permit that.
Dolly Dearest, did either of you see that?
I have not seen it.
I remember Dolly Dearest.
Yeah.
That shit, like, she was another one of those dolls, like, she starts off looking creepy.
Yeah.
At least in my opinion. She did not look like something I'd want to mess with.
But it does look like one of those typical creepy looking things that girls are like, oh, it's lovely. I'm like, no, it's not.
No, I want to look it up and see what
please do
Dolly
so. Look it up.
She's got like a red dress.
Like.
That one actually very much matches that whole like My American Girl doll.
Yeah,
shirts.
that one. See, that looks a lot like
right
those
on.
kind of things.
Like my mom had a doll that looked like the Dolly Dearest doll, and I was like, "Yeah, you're keeping that in the cabinet. It's never coming out."
Mom, I'm burning it.
Just burn it to the ground.
Mom, don't breathe. I'm burning this doll.
Oh, yeah. That actually, it's funny because she almost kind of looks like Linda Blair in The Exorcist to me for some reason.
I can see that.
It's just who I thought of right off the bat. But yeah, this is not a trustworthy doll.
No.
You can just sort of tell by looking at it.
She will steal your lunch.
And like, like in the movie, this family is moving to Mexico where there's a warehouse and factories that makes those dolls.
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know what happened to the person that owned it before. They must have just sold it or something or gotten rid of it. No evil had happened yet. It was just a weird doll. And then there's some like archaeological dig going on for some Mayan demon child thing. and like that spirit of the demon child or devil child or whatever gets loose and it goes inside one of the dolls. And then so the family goes in there. And the mom, what is her name? Denise Crosby. So she's already like in Pet Sematary, and she's got a nice little horror thing going on. She's in that. It's got Rip Torn in it. He's in like an archaeologist.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
So like it's got a fun little crew, but it's kind of it's not a great movie for having like somewhat of a fun cast. I think it's because the son, he kind of ruins it for me. He really does. This boy is just
Damn little boy.
little boy. I hate him. He messed it up for me. But like this dog is possessed by the demon thing, and then the possession. This is weird because it's kind of like a dual possession at this point. It's like it's possessing the doll and then the girl, because there's like a son and a daughter, and the daughter's being possessed too. So the doll's possessing the daughter, and the doll's possessed by the demon thing, and it's just not good.
Is it trying to like transfer through
I
the
don't
doll?
remember. Like,
I'm trying to apply logic to what a demon is doing
No, I
here.
think I think it was very much like the Child's Play thing, where like
Yeah.
it's trying to get out of the doll into a living being, where
Well,
it
that
was
thing-
almost more successful.
Yeah. It's weird because like you never really see like that dual kind of thing going on. It's always like Annabelle's possessed and Annabelle might be trying to get into another body. It's like this doll's possessed, but then the girl is also possessed. It's like the mom is going to take the doll away, and the girl's standing up on the bed. I'll kill you if you take my doll. It's like, oh my goodness, girl, calm down. This doll's creepy, but she wants it. So she, in the face that the doll gets later on, like when it starts talking. You know how like in Child's Play, like once it actually starts having a character doing it, it's like the face looks different.
It starts like snarling up through most of it.
Dolly Dearest does that, and it's creepy, and it has like some weird voices. It's good. Just get that little boy out of the movie. That's a good movie.
I have a question about Annabelle because, like I said earlier, I've seen the Conjuring movies. But is there a third one out, or is it just two? Because I've seen the first two.
I think
they're making it part 3. Yeah.
Okay. Does it ever give? You said it kind of gives like backstory to like Annabelle and like what she is and like how she came to be the thing that she is.
I think like in The Conjuring, they talk a little bit about it. Like it shows like the Warrens interviewing these two girls that had like gotten the doll, and then the doll was just being weird. Which the real story about that is, again, pretty laughable. It's like the doll wasn't exactly where it was when I left. It was 2 feet to the right. It's a demon. And so Right Ann is apparently a demon because it was 2 feet away from where she remembered putting it. But but with the doll in the movie, like it's obviously more kind of stuff going on.
Yeah.
But
they do kind of give backstory in the Annabelle movies.
A little bit, yeah. Like I can't like in the first Annabelle movie, I can't remember if they give any backstory on it. I think it's just
That's just like
kind of like this woman died
case.
and she's in you now.
Yeah.
But
this current one that's out, the Annabelle, because it's not Annabelle 2, it's Annabelle Creation.
Yeah,
that's the one that's out. Yeah.
So
And this
kinda
one
like
actually gives the story behind the doll. Yeah.
Because that was kind of what I liked about her in the Conjuring movies was that she was never like the focal point. She just always seemed to be like this weird like force of nature presence that sort of like lurked off to the side that you were just like, you can't let this thing out. And we're not going to talk about what exactly happened. Like, I kind of liked the way that was like in The Conjuring. Because for me, that kind of stuff, like when there's like no explanation and no like rationale, and it's just sort of like this thing that like don't mess with this thing, kind of lends to how ominous it feels.
Yeah, definitely. Well, they're going to lose that if you watch The Creation.
Yeah.
Because it definitely focuses on how that birthed.
Yeah.
That's true though. It's like once you find the root to it, it's like, that's kind of dumb. But I'm the person that always wants to know where it came from. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Creepy demon doll. How'd it happen? Give me the story.
Yeah, really.
And it's like, all right, well, here's the creepy, scary story. I'm like, oh shoot, that's scary. But it kind of doesn't really do it. Now I'm uninterested.
You ruined it for me. Damn it. Why did I have to know? Well, what I've seen from this one, the trailer shows that this family and they had a daughter dies.
Right.
And like the spirit comes back of the daughter. And it's like, I want to come back, but I want to come back in this doll. And the doll, of course, is Annabelle.
Right.
And the parents miss their child so much. They're like, okay, yeah, you can do that. And then, of course, a bunch of crazy shit happens.
Right.
And they regret everything they've done now.
Right.
I'm assuming it's one of those things where it's like they're always thinking it's the person that they loved that's dead that's saying, I want to come back.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Annabelle.
Yeah, but it's a demon.
It's like, psych, I'm a demon.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Just a bunch of trickery.
Yeah, and then there's this other family or these kids, I guess, that come into their home and everything. This is the part I don't know if like they adopted these kids or just taking care of these kids randomly.
I think it becomes like that house or something becomes like an orphanage or something.
Yeah.
Or it's like a place where they go to stop for a while or something.
Yeah, like a halfway house or something.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of kids there now, and that doll is still there.
Yeah. And with the parents and stuff. And of course, like, you have like this girl who's kind of like Forrest Gump in it. Not that she's mentally slow or anything, it's just, but she has a leg that has a brace.
Hi, Annabelle. Forrest Gump.
Oh my god.
That's
horror
what
movie crossovers would be an interesting thing.
Put Forrest Gump in anything and I'll watch it, I think.
Something bet, man.
Who put this doll here? Mama always said not to play with dolls. I think what were we saying before? Like I wanted a crossover of something. Because I think we were talking about like all of these like doll things. And it's like, I want this doll to face this doll. It's probably like a Chucky thing, I bet. Chucky comes back and everything.
Probably because we were talking about
Chucky's like number one doll.
We were talking about how like Puppet Master had like all these crossovers, like Puppet Master versus
I think it
Demonic
was
Toys or something like that. This and that.
It probably was that because I was telling you about Doll Man, which is a movie but nothing to do about dolls.
Yeah.
Just like a 13-inch dude who comes from like another dimension, and he lands on Earth, and they just call him Doll Man.
Oh, but, that's terrifying.
Yeah. Also, he's actually the good guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's this interdimensional cop who has like this gun that's like a bazooka and like blows holes in.
Oh, that's chest. Hilarious!
Oh,
actually,
it's a B movie, but it's ridiculously bad good. Actually, Jackie Earl Haley is in it.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
really?
Yeah. Like when people forgot who he was,
right?
He's the bad guy in there. And it has like this horrible like New York, Jersey accent thing where he's like, "What you doing here, eh?" So ridiculous and over the top.
That sounds like fun.
I would definitely, it's anything from Full Moon Entertainment from the 90s, I would advise watching because it's pure cheesy goodness. You know, if you like the Puppet Master series, you'll like any of the other things they do. But they had a thing where it's like Doll Man versus Demonic Toys.
That's really funny.
So like it's him, and it was quite the combination because there's another factor they put into it. It was like this supermodel or nurse. It was a nurse who gets shrunk down to the same size as Doll Man because of course he needs a companion.
Right.
How else is he gonna get it on? And the two of them have to like fight the Demonic Toys and everything. And Demonic Toys had its own series at one point. So these two forces came together. And which one it was like Demonic Toys actually never did face Puppet Masters, so they need to do that. That has to happen.
There was something like I think I saw like it might have been like IMDb or maybe I saw it on like a YouTube thing or something like that. It's like it was Puppet Master versus some other toys. I can't remember which ones they are, but I'll have to look that up after. If anybody knows, leave it in the comments. Let us know. Tell us if you saw it and if it was good.
Yeah, because now we need to know.
These are things that need to be known.
Monster Kids, help us.
Help us, please.
We give our call.
So, the Saw puppet.
Yeah.
Jigsaw. Fucking Jigsaw. Fucking Jigsaw. I just made up a new word.
Yeah.
That thing was creepy as hell. Like when I first saw the trailer for that, I was like, "Oh my god, it's my movie about a puppet that kills people with some crazy devices
on a tricycle."
I kind of like as cool as it was that this one dude like thought of this whole elaborate schemery of torturing everybody. I kind of almost wish that it was just the puppet doing all those things on his little tricycle. Want to play a game?
That would have been so creepy.
Yeah.
And I'm almost positive that, like, he was making this puppet. Like, if you haven't seen the Saw movies, like, sorry, I'm talking about it.
Really, you
You should have seen
It's been
it.
a while.
They're on
I
part
think
8,
it's
so
okay.
it is what it is.
But like his wife, something happened. Wasn't she like pregnant and like the baby? Something happened, and they got separated because of it. And I think he was making a puppet for the kid at the time, and it was the jigsaw. It was like that creepy little thing. It's like, why is that suitable for a child that you're trying to rear? It's like, hey, check this out. We can play a game. It's like, no, I don't want to play a game with this thing. It's creepy. And then he puts like the spirals on the cheeks. Like that helps. That makes me feel secure. I would love that as a child.
I think that happened when the cancer kicked in.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's like,
Probably.
You know, life is going on a downward spiral. And that's what happens.
Yeah.
The swirlies are a metaphor.
Yeah. This movie was deeper than we thought. You know?
Yeah.
Angry swirl.
But I do kind of like the idea of like that guy never having been a part of it and just like you always think it's just like this doll or rather like someone controlling this doll that you never find out what their motivation or anything. Like I get that was like the whole point was the motivation and sort of like I don't know if I could really say depth if that's the correct word, but you know what I'm talking about. Like that was sort of like the point of it. Other than lots of gore.
Yeah.
But that would have been way creepier, I think, if it was just like someone or some people we have no idea is setting this up and the only communication we have with them is this doll that talks like this. Like,
that would be so cool.
Right?
that would be so creepy.
Because
That's kind of a cool
whoever
idea.
survives has to tell that story then. It's like,
Right.
It's like, so who was it? It was this. It was
The doll on a tricycle.
The spirals.
The spirals.
It was been called the Spiral Killer at that point. It would have been Jigsaw anymore.
Goodness.
I think that the name Jigsaw is such a good name for a villain like that, though.
Yeah.
Mhm.
it
So
really
I think
was.
we can keep Jigsaw.
The vote is in. No
The vote
spirals.
is in.
Jigsaw, you get to stay.
Yeah. Congratulations, Jigsaw.
Jigsaw approved.
And actually, the people who made Saw were the same people who made Dead Silence, right?
Yeah.
Which
explained a lot.
yeah, because that ventriloquist dummy was another one where you look at it and you're just like, clearly this is untrustworthy. Like, this is not a doll that I want to keep around. Like, I saw that movie, I feel like 2 or 3 times, and I don't have a lot of memory of what happened in it. But I know that there was, like, you mentioned earlier, like that sweeping shot of all the ventriloquist dummies, and Jigsaw was actually
Yeah,
in it as like
that
a little like,
puppet was just
Easter
kinda
egg or
Just
something.
kind of sitting there like on the floor against like a wall or a pillar. Say, hey, I'm Spirals. What's good?
That might have some interesting implications, actually. Like if they take place in the same universe.
Mm.
That'd be interesting.
And again, if only it was just the puppet, then
Right.
all the puppets were the killers.
Right?
And that makes sense why he was in there too.
Missed opportunity.
Oh, now I know if they're connected. How did that thing get in there? That's interesting.
I like the idea of there just being like this cult that is super obsessed with dolls for whatever reason, but they're working entirely in the shadows and never learn anything about them. So you can only like get at them through the dolls.
Call that movie Doll Maker. We gotta start penning this now before it's too late.
Yeah, really.
You heard it here first. Doll Maker's ours. We're making it. Don't take it.
That's ours.
We're writing it right now. Man, something about ventriloquist dummies. Like, I don't think I've ever seen one like within real life and in a movie that wasn't scary. It wasn't like, creepy. It's like, why would you want to have that? Wait, or even put your hand up it and all that kind of stuff? I wouldn't want to do that.
They're constantly in this kind of like state of uncanny valley. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like where someone is like trying to make it look realistic. I guess it's through the whole like throwing your voice thing. You want it to look like it's actually talking, but like, but yeah, they look horrifying
All the time.
all the time.
All of the time.
Yeah.
Jeff Dunham has some good ones.
Yeah, but his are like, you can tell because his are like foam, kind of like
They feel like Muppet puppets.
Right, exactly. Muppets are like Sesame Street or something like that. So those are like, you can tell that they're they don't hit that like weird uncanny
they're not
valley.
made of like wood.
Yeah.
Right. They're not and they're not like in their little like proportional suits like with the jaw, I think is more than anything what
jaw and eyes. The jaw's and eyes, man.
Yeah.
I'm not about that business.
Yeah, I think it's the hyper realistic eyes.
Yeah.
You know, they put like almost like glass eyes that you would put like into a person who was 3 feet tall.
Ooh, that reminds me, quick thing about eyes. I think I read somewhere, I could be mistaken on this, it might be something else, but the Crypt Keeper from Tales from the Crypt, they used that like setup, I think they used that for the Child Play doll? For Chucky? I could be wrong.
Same eyes?
Like the same, it's like, oh, we're done with the show. Let's use it for something else.
Oh, the animatronics.
Yeah.
Oh.
I could be wrong, but I know they used it for something else, and I think it was Child's Play, but...
That's interesting.
That doll was doomed from the get-go then.
Yeah.
Right? See? Even before number 2 was getting refurbished. They had no choice.
Do not
That's where
refurbish
they
the
got
Crypt Keeper.
That's where they got the idea, probably. Is they're just like, well, we refurbished this. We'll just put that in the plot.
It's like, all right, you made a My Buddy doll. What are we going to do with it now? I have a great idea, guys. Hear me out. All right, before we start like scrapping on this idea, but what if the Crypt Keeper possessed this doll? But we won't call it the Crypt Keeper because we don't want to get sued.
Let's call it Charles. Yeah.
Charles Chuck. Yes. This is great. Good job, Johnson.
Now he has to say some mumbo jumbo words first. It's like, "Oi, Dembella, give me the power."
That's so
Perfect.
Nice and simple.
Ventriloquist, though. There's anytime, like on Twitter or something, if I do a poll about like creepy dolls or puppets or something like that, a lot of people jump right away saying that movie Magic with Anthony Hopkins, which is a good, creepy, scary movie. But they're always like, well, what about this one? You didn't put that on the list. And I always think to myself, like, well, technically that doll wasn't alive and didn't kill anybody. It was just a tool used by him. But people love that movie. It comes up a lot. Have you seen any of it? No?
I haven't seen it.
It's with a young Anthony Hopkins. This is really early on in his career. And they managed to actually make the doll look very, him and the doll look very similar, which just adds to the creepiness of the doll. So like when he's talking and then the doll's talking, it's just like, oh my God, it's like, this is why practical effects are important and why we got to keep them, because they managed to do something that was like, if I don't see it being as creepy if they did it like nowadays with the CGI.
Yeah, if they didn't CGI that.
Yeah.
Like it was pretty good. Whoever did like the carving of that thing, it was amazing. Yeah. And Anthony Hopkins he's already creepy. Like anyone who's seen him in anything has been like with like Silence of the Lambs or whatever. I think this is what really birthed that idea that he could be like a killer. Yeah. Because he had those eyes.
And it's a really good movie. Like he I can't remember what he was doing, something like comedy or magic or something, and he like bombs on stage and gets booed off and like has this complete mental breakdown. And then so to get back in it, he like gets the puppet. And the puppet's name is Fats. His name is Corky. So it's Corky and Fats. And it's kind of like he's kind of like projecting part of himself onto the doll. And so everything that's going on the whole time, like it's always actually him. It's like a split personality. Yeah. And it's like you start to like how the movie is like, oh my gosh, dude, that dummy is like possessed. He's gonna kill somebody. And it's always like, you have to stop him. He's like, how? He's like, me, use me. It's like, what? And he like smacks the person in the head with the dummy. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a good way to use it. Smack him to death with a puppet. That's a good way to kill someone. But there's this scene where it looks like Fats is stabbing somebody, but really it's Corky is standing behind him behind a curtain, and it's at first like it really throws you off because like the whole time like, oh, it's just the puppet and it's him being crazy, which he does a really good job at being crazy in this movie. Yes, like. It's really good.
It's very on par with like Psycho, I would say, just with a puppet instead.
It's very good. And he, So you see the guy kind of looking at Fats, and then all of a sudden, like, Fats has a knife in his hand, and you just see, like, the hand down by the puppet's arm, and it lunges out and stabs him. And then, like, you see the face changing on the puppet. You're like, oh, snap. This thing's really happening. Like,
Yeah.
here it is. Turns out it was the puppet the whole time. It was alive. But then, like, after the murdering occurs, like, the guy falls down, Fats falls down, and then Corky pops out from behind a curtain. He's like, oh, no, what did you do? Like, Fats, what did you do? He's like, I killed him.
There's a Batman villain like this. That
Yes, I was talking about the ventriloquist.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that? What's the name of the doll, though? Like, and it's funny because I was just rewatching some of the animated series recently, and
I want to say his name is Scarface, but I
think it is.
Yeah,
because
because he has a scar. The actual guy's name is the ventriloquist.
Yeah, it threw me off because I was like, "Are they allowed to just use that?" Okay, I guess.
I think Scarface isn't actually open.
Oh, okay,
because it's just 2 words of Scarface. It's not.
Yeah. Oh, it's like 2. Okay, yeah. But yeah, that's everything that you were just saying. Totally reminded me of that because he doesn't. It is like the split personality, and he doesn't want to be doing this, but his other personality, that's the puppet, is like making him and all of this stuff. And
it's true. It's very much exactly like that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's just.
I think what adds to
Gotham
it too
with Batman.
It's like you mentioned, like he has that knife. What adds to it is like the knife is perfectly sized for the puppet too, so it looks like this little like Boy Scout pocket knife thing. So it's like, okay, the puppet would have that because why would a grown man have that?
Yeah.
Right.
But like with what you're talking about, the ventriloquist, I always loved is that Scarface had like that little Tommy gun.
Oh yeah,
that was perfect for him, and it
big
shot.
Little Tommy gun,
Yeah,
which is hilarious.
Yeah, and he'd shoot it, and people would die.
Oh yeah,
it was just it's weird because it's cute. You know, it's like, oh, isn't that adorable? Him and his little Tommy gun, kill the people.
When you're watching it, you forget that it's 2 separate. That is one person. You see it as 2 people. Like you see like this dummy, like when you're just fully engaged in the movie or in the TV show, and you see it's like, oh shoot, that puppet's going crazy, it's killing people. It's like, oh no, it's just that person's split personality thing going on. It's just that one person doing it. It's not 2 actual people. It's really cool how like they can get you drawn into that.
Yeah,
you can have that.
That's true. Now, with all this doll nonsense, have any of you ever had like an occurrence with a doll that may have creeped you out in real life?
I can't think of any that I had. Like, again, I was very much more like a stuffed animal, which I guess is kind of like along the same lines. But like I said, that was like my safety thing. Like I would just like surround myself with them, and they never did anything to break my trust. it was my sister, especially my younger sister, who had all the dolls. Like it's funny, she only liked bald dolls. If a doll had hair, she was not about it. And she kept them in a suitcase under her bed. So she had this giant ass suitcase of a bunch of bald baby dolls.
That sounds
creepy. Which I guess is kind of creepy on its own.
Is your sister, you say?
Yeah.
She's creepy.
It's like the continuation is like, she still has that suitcase till this day.
She talks to them.
She is bald now, though. She shaves her head. But no, she does not. She doesn't. I guess it's not totally the same, but I used to work at a big department store, and in one of the stock rooms, if you followed it back far enough, because it was connected to another stock room. I know, yeah, I was telling you about this the other day. Since we were dealing with, I think, the mannequins when we were at Comic-Con, there was this little staircase that I had never seen before because it was like way back in the stock room where there's no inventory back there. You would never go that far back. And there was a little staircase, and at the top of it had a little sign that said "Into the Woods," and that's where they kept all of the mannequins for the whole store that they weren't using at the time. And it was like, of course, dead silent back there.
Yeah.
And there's all of these mannequins and like arms and hands just like around, like, and again, it was a big department store and they had a ton of different kinds of mannequins. And there they all were. And it was really kind of spooky to just walk into one day because I was just, you know, like wandering around because I had nothing to do. And I went up there and I was just like, holy shit, like I'm gonna die right now. Like, oh my God. Like,
I want to know who the cool person was that wrote Into the Woods.
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
I like that person. I don't know who it is, but that person knew what was going on.
Yeah. It was really funny because it was totally placed like right there. And then it literally looked like a forest of mannequins, which is creepy. And some of them were creepy because they had like, I mean, mannequins on their own are kind of unsettling looking, but there were some of them that had like faces painted on, and like wigs, and then some of them had like no heads or really tiny heads and just
shrunken heads.
Oh yeah, we had some shrunken head mannequins. I've seen mannequins that
that's just odd. Why would you have a shrunken head mannequin? Now I'm curious. Where did you work again? Witchcrafts R Us?
Yeah, it was a department store based out of Silent Hill, actually.
There you go. That makes sense.
Silent Hill outlets.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
I'm just imagining the scene from like Westworld. They're going to have all like the decommissioned androids and stuff just standing there all nude.
Creepy.
It's kind of weird.
Really creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess not that...
Those are just giant dolls,
Yeah. Yeah, basically. Mannequins are really creepy.
Yeah, I can't think of any like creepy experiences I've had. Like, there's nothing that's super memorable, but I'm pretty sure I've had instances where it's been like, okay, I'm pretty sure that doll was like not there before or was facing a different way. Like, I feel like that doll's looking at me. You know, just like random little creepy things about the dolls. Nothing that'd be like, call the exorcist. This is serious. Throw it in the oven. Don't breathe, though. It's like, it's just like, they're just creepy. And like when I see people that have like collections of them, I'm like, oh, what's wrong with you, though? I want to know what's happening in your head right now because there's something. It's like, I think it's creepy to me because they're supposed to be these like innocent, cute little toys for innocent people. And I think that's a big part of like horror for me. Is like innocence.
It's like,
that's what I was totally thinking about too. Like in the Shining, the like little girls in the Shining, because they're not on their own doing anything that's, you know, creepy by itself.
Which reminds me, a part of Annabelle, the first movie. There's a scene where the mother is in the house and she's in one room, and then there's the hallway in another room. You can see through to the other room.
Oh, snap. I know what you're talking about.
Goosebumps. I love it. There's this little girl in there in like this white dress. She looks kind of like she's mean mugging her.
Yeah.
You know, so that takes away a little bit from the innocence, but just the fact that it's a young little girl in there. I'm like, that's creepy already.
Yeah, just a random girl.
She's just sitting there like staring her down. She's like, she asked her like, who are you? Or like something like that. And all of a sudden, the little girl starts running at her as her door is closing, like slowly.
Oh my God.
She's not close enough to the door to be closing herself. But the little girl's like halfway back in her room. She's halfway back in her room. And her door is closing as the little girl's running towards her. And then right when the little girl gets out of camera view and the door's almost closed, slams open and it's the woman from the cult that died. And the blood drips into the Annabelle doll.
Yeah.
And she's running at her.
It's like, yeah, it's a fast-paced, creepy scene. Yeah, I remember seeing that. I was like, oh my God.
That's so cool.
It was super creepy. I was like, yes, this is awesome. I love that creepy stuff. Although it's creepy. I don't want dolls around me. But I mean, I'll go visit them and be like, hey, this is creepy. I enjoy being creeped out, but not for long.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave now.
Yeah, it's funny. Like you mentioned that the collection thing. Like I'd say before, Mom has a collection. She still has it. And when me and Jen were first getting together, and my mom, liked Jen pretty quickly, and she loves Jen so much. She's like, you know, when I pass, I want you to have my doll collection. you know.
Great.
And
I thought she liked her.
And it's like I'm glad that you have accepted me, you know, this much, but you don't have to do that. It's like you can give it to somebody else.
Yeah.
It's like, matter of fact, don't even give it to George. He doesn't need it. Give it to his brother.
That's funny because now that you're talking about doll collections, I'm remembering my other sister had a collection of porcelain dolls.
Oh. Those are the kinds. One has.
So
Creep level 10.3.
Yeah.
yeah. So actually, each of my sisters had a doll collection of some sort. One of them was bald baby dolls, and the other was porcelain dolls. So maybe I had a bunch of narrow misses.
You know what? I'm surprised the Wardens didn't come to your house and a movie's being made right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, nothing probably happened, but they would say something happened, and then make an awesome doll movie.
Yeah, really.
The ultimate doll movie.
Could you imagine the joining of the bald baby dolls and
then
the porcelain dolls?
The stuffed animals could be the heroes.
Yeah.
Oh man, they're so good.
Oh man, a haunted Pikachu.
Yeah, it could be like there's this comic book called Things of Legend or Stuff of Legend, something like that. And the premise is this boy gets kidnapped by like these big monsters under his bed, and his toys band together, kind of like Toy Story. They band together and they go under his bed.
That's what I was thinking. This like reverse Toy Story.
And they go in there to save him, and they fight the monsters.
Oh,
but
that's
like,
awesome.
But like I say, if there's a teddy bear, like he looks all cute stuff, teddy bear. But then when he goes into under the bed world, it's like a ferocious, like I'm gonna kick your butt bear now. So all of the toys kind of transform into like their
that sounds like an awesome story.
But
for kids,
that's what you should have. Is that?
Yeah.
Is the stuffed animals come to save the day and they beat the crap out of the dolls.
That's so funny.
Second movie we're writing, penning it right now, Doll Wars. All right, that's ours. Right? Patent pending, copyright approved. All right, that's belongs to Famous Monsters. All right.
The Famous Monsters doll series.
Man, this is gonna be good. We're gonna make so much money from these dolls.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be haunted for
That's what's kind of interesting to me is that there's so many movies about like haunted dolls, and yet people make creepy dolls so much.
Yeah.
Like I remember like seeing like in Hot Topic back in the day, like the little Apple dolls. There's the Living Dead dolls, like all kinds of stuff. People are like just obsessed with these like creepy dolls.
Man, so it's like the no joke with the Living Dead dolls from Mezco. Like they're like on what line? I want to say 30 or 40 something. Like they've had like over 30 series of this doll collection. It is ridiculous.
Yeah, like we just saw like at Comic-Con, like on the show that aired on Saturday, they were talking about them and how like the new ones are like
the coal mining ones.
The coal mining ones,
Those look creepy. And
they
I
look
love the
so
story.
creepy. Yeah,
that's what adds to it. They create a whole background for these dolls. It's like, that's
which
what
is
I
pretty
need.
awesome. Yeah,
and that story kind of reminds me of the anthology horror movie Trick or Treat.
Yeah.
Isn't that the one where there's like a bus of kids that like got drowned in a lake or something like that? There's a few kids go trick or treating and like they go off. It might have been that one, but it might have been a different one. But I think it was Trick or Treat.
No, I think it was that one. Yeah, because you had the little boy right with the sack boy.
Yeah, you had Sam. I think.
Sam, yeah.
But then there was like this group of kids that have been like drowned or something. Like something happened with a bus ride where the bus like fell off to the water or something because the bus driver was drunk or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then like the kids all drowned, and now they're coming back on Halloween to get their revenge, kind of thing. And it reminded me of that, and I was like, a busload of little kids going like to do some gold mining or something. I'm like, first off, I wouldn't trust these little kids. Like,
second of all, don't do that. Don't do that to kids. Please don't put children into a coal mine. Oh my god.
Well, back in the day, most likely did happen.
Oh, totally.
When we were coal mining and stuff. Child labor laws hadn't kicked in yet.
All right.
So it's a perfect backstory.
Smaller places.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess that, like, thinking about, like, the kids, like, and dolls, I guess that's one of the other reasons why doll movies are so popular is because if there's a doll in the movie, there's probably going to be a kid in the movie.
Yeah.
And, of course, like you were talking about with Trick or Treat, and we were talking about, like, with The Shining, like, those movies... Like, there's a lot of doll movies, but there's a lot of, like, creepy little kid movies. Which is kind of interesting because that totally, it totally, like, spans, like, the globe, too. Because, like, if you think about, like, all like the Japanese horror that everyone was into back in the mid 2000s when The Ring and The Grudge came out. Like all of those are like creepy little kids and stuff like that.
Those are super creepy kids.
Oh yeah. That kid in The Grudge that meows.
Yeah. It's funny because it's so true how creepy he is. And it's so scary. Like, I'm not afraid of a lot of things. But like when I saw those movies, I was like, I don't want that ever near me. Ever. Right. But when you hear about that, when you write that in pets, it's like, creepy boy who meows. It's like, that scared you? A boy who meowed?
Right. But
really?
wait,
it's like, you watch that boy meow.
And it's like, oh my God. Because it's like, it's kind of funny to think about him like when he's not actively haunting someone, like maybe meowing like a cute little cat, like meow. But like he's like straight up like yowling. Yeah. And it's like, the thing that got me like the first time he did that was it was in the background of a shot, and all you can see is him looking at the girl who's I think like on the phone, or no, she's looking around outside for the cat that she's hearing that's not actually a cat, and you see his eyes because he's got these big dark eyes, and then you see his mouth just open, not even in focus, and you're just like, oh my God, this is terrifying.
Yeah, that's one of the things that creeps me out too, is like mouths open more than they're supposed to.
Yeah.
I'm like, my mouth opens pretty wide when I'm yawning. I'm like, that little kid's mouth is open way bigger than mine. Yeah. And his head is smaller than mine. Totally. That shouldn't be happening.
Don't do that.
Stop.
That's something that's really prevalent in Japanese horror too. Like even like reading comics, like there's a horror series that just does like, it's like 2 or 3 pages of one story and then it moves on to the next story. So each volume has like a ton of chapters in it because it doesn't really follow any character. There's not really like character names. It'll just follow someone who encounters a ghost really quick. And then the story ends. So there's like no conclusions to these, which make it really cool. It's called Fuan no Tane, and it's one of my favorites. And that like a lot of like the facial horror and stuff like that. They do a lot of like really enlarged mouths or eyes that are like on the side and stuff like that. It's awesome. It's really creepy. Trying to terrify your microphone.
Yeah. I'm doing the big open mouth at my microphone. Like,
it's like, don't eat the microphone, Chase. Yeah. Don't do that.
But you know, I totally agree.
All some little kids, man.
Bringing all stuff reminds me of a prank that happened. And I say prank because I hope it was a prank.
Okay.
There was one night we were all at a party, and we're all adults at this point. Like we're probably like, I want to say late 20s or something like that. And we're at a friend's house in Dublin, New Hampshire, and this is out in the boondocks, so it's all forest area and stuff. And we saw in the home there was a doll, like this creepy looking doll, porcelain and everything. And one of our friends who's afraid of clowns and stuff like that, he was like, okay, I don't want that near me. I don't want to see that. I'm going away. So like, okay, yeah, we agree. It was just this party. All of us were downstairs together. All right. There's, excuse me, probably about 10 of us or so between outside and the kitchen. None of us went upstairs for like a good few hours. Then all of a sudden, we go towards the stairs, and sitting at the top of the stairs is that doll.
Yes. Great.
Yeah.
That's the best.
And we're like, okay, put the doll there. And of course, like he was scared. Like he was just like, put that there. And there's more to that too, because we took a picture of him with the doll as him being scared. And like we never got to the bottom who put the doll there. We never know. And we saw each other together. That's the thing that's weird. It's like we were all together. So it's like, who did that? You know? Yeah. Someone did it. Please say it was you. But the picture we took of him with the doll's like staying still a bit, but his face was all distorted.
Great.
In the picture. He didn't move. Ooh. He just did like a scared face, and that was it. We took the picture, but his face was all like warped around the doll. And it's like, that's creepy as hell. And it's like, I remember like calling her up against like, hey, so what's the story behind that doll that you had? Remember that night we were at the party and the doll was there on the stairs and we took that picture? It's like, what's the backstory on that? Because I kind of have to know now. Because I think there's the demons. You know, demons. The doll might have a demon in it. It's not the picture over. It's like, I don't know how that could have happened. It's like, are you messing with me? It's like, I'm not messing with you. That's some freaky stuff. If you still live in that house, run away right now, please.
Get rid of the doll.
I want you to be alive tomorrow.
Yeah.
I got 2 questions for that.
Oh my God.
One, who was the last person down the stairs? Yes.
Oh, that's a good question.
That's
and there's like, we were drinking. There was lots of alcohol involved. So who knows? Like maybe someone did escape and we just didn't see when they did it. But that's a good point. I'll never know. Like till this day, we have no idea who did it.
Because it could have been like when everyone was creeped out, whoever the last person was just walked over and grabbed it and just kept it behind their back the whole time until you got to the stairs, and then it's kind of set at the stairs and head down with you guys. That would have been. That's how I would have done it.
I was gonna say this sounds like you formulated a plan now.
And number 2, tell me you still have that picture.
I think I might. I will hunt it down.
Was it?
I will try to share it.
Was it like a phone picture or like an actual?
It was with a phone
photograph.
Like
okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
If you find it,
I really want to see that now. I'm so curious.
I'll hunt it down. I'm on a search now this weekend.
Gosh, I'm all hopped up on demons. I want to go do all kinds of scary stuff now.
Oh yeah, totally.
Well, I think on that note, we should all watch Annabelle this weekend.
Yeah.
If y'all get the chance to watch it, let us know what you think about it. Comment on our page. Hit us up. Chase, let them know where they can follow us.
Twitter and Instagram. It's just @Famous Monsters. Famous Monsters of Filmland or FMOFL on Facebook. And then Famous Monsters of Filmland on YouTube. And we'll be posting this up on YouTube. And whenever we do our podcasts, we post them up. And we also post them on YouTube. And when we post them on YouTube, we always have some sort of little giveaway. So make sure you just follow the instructions on our social media to find out how to win some prizes.
I like it. I think this week we might get a doll in there. We should give away a doll.
Yeah.
And that's
Sounds like a great idea.
Yeah. Let's find some dolls.
All
right. Well, I'm George. With me is Chase. And Eleni.
Bye, guys.
And we'll see you next week. Goodbye. Goodbye.